What is up, viewers? RedNovaYugioh here discussing now yet another ruling video for you guys. This time it was based off the card Pot of Duality. Now this card has been around for many years. I don't know how many years, at least 5 for sure, at least 5. But of course now with the two Dragos, it has seen some play since that deck just tribute summons and doesn't really do a lot of spur summoning. So it's a good tech in the deck, and maybe some other decks as well. Like probably Yosenju, that's not really a deck that spur summons a lot. But yeah, but with that said, let's read what it does. Obviously the whole time the card will be somewhere on my screen, but it states it's a normal spell card that states excavate the top 3 cards of your deck. So you know, excavate basically means reveal. It's basically the same word. Add one of them to your hand. Also, after that, shuffle the rest back into your deck. You can only activate one Pot Duality per turn. You cannot spur summon during a turn you activate this card. Now, if memory serves me, this card was highly sought out when it first came out. I believe it came out during the Synchro era. And yeah, and apparently this was an amazing card because yes, you actually are revealing what you're adding to your opponent, but it gives you options to what you want to add. That's always pretty good. With that said, now there are some rulings that I do wanna say. I like how the first ruling on this page says the cards you don't choose are returned to the deck and the deck is shuffled. I'm pretty sure that's what it says on the card, so I don't understand how that's the ruling if it's already in the card. But here's a ruling that even myself, I didn't know. It says even if you have only 2 cards in your deck, you can still activate Pot Duality. You'll reveal, like let's say your deck only has 2 cards. You may still activate Pot Duality, revealing the two, put one in your hand and shuffle the other one back. I don't think you may activate Pot Duality even if you have 1 card in your deck because you have nothing to shuffle back in the deck after that. So obviously you'll add your 1 card you have remaining, but with that you have nothing to shuffle back, which is part of the effect of Pot Duality. So unfortunately that wouldn't work. But even if you have only 2 cards in your deck, you may still activate Pot Duality, revealing those 2 cards and adding one and put it back the other one to the deck. Just pretty awesome. It does say also an obscure ruling involving a card called Mystical Ref Panel, which is a card I've never seen in play, but it's amazing against Pot Duality. But real quick, let's read what exactly Mystical Ref Panel is. Wrong page. Hold on. Give me a second. Got it. It states, it's a normal trap card that states, activate only when a spell card that targets 1 player is activated. The effect of that spell card is applied to the other player instead. So you're basically stealing an effect that involves your opponent. I know the wording of this card is kind of weird because that targets 1 player. That's something that you don't see in a lot of cards. But Pot Duality is something the player does themselves. If you kind of say that, like I said, I know it's a confusing word text because it does say targets 1 player, and that's something that you don't see a lot. But anyways, it does say if your opponent activates Pot Duality and you chain Mystical Ref Panel, now you will reveal the top 3 cards of the deck, pick one, show the rest, and then your opponent can't spur summon that turn. So yeah, so it's a pretty effective way to actually steal the effect of Pot Duality, but the conditions for it, which means that you can't spur summon the turn you activate this card, is still applied to your opponent. Like you steal the effect, but the conditional card is still applied to your opponent. So that's pretty awesome. That's a really like weird ruling right there, which is kind of crazy. But again, that's something I've never seen. It's just facts of the game. Also, you can activate Pot Duality and Future Fusion on the same turn, because even though Future Fusion is a card that will eventually spur summon, it only spur summons on the second turn after activation, not on the turn it's activated. So you may still activate Pod Duality under the first turn of Future Fusion, only because well, you're not really spur summoning a monster from the extra deck at that turn, at that moment. So that's pretty good to actually know. Now, of course, there are actually a bunch of other rulings, like let's say an opponent had the option to spur summon a monster either through card effect, and they say no, and then activate Pod Duality. Yes, you may still activate Pod Duality on the same turn if you refuse the option to spur summon a monster. Like the example this gives here is with the Ice Hand, Fiery Hand. Now, when they're destroyed, you are actually given the option to select if you want to spur summon the other respective card after it's destroyed. But if you choose no, you may still activate Pod Duality, because technically you did not spur summon a monster on that turn because you were given the option and then you said no. So therefore you are still allowed to play Pod Duality even after that. And I gotta say, and obviously when it says reveal, when you say reveal, you must show the 3 cards from the top of your deck, and you must also show which card you add into your hand to your opponent. You know, basically every time you search a card, you must reveal what card it is, just to prevent the cheating, I guess. That's probably the best way to describe it to you guys. But yeah, now here's a ruling that threw me off the first time I saw it. Now, as you know, Pod Duality cannot be activated under the trap card Mistake. Mistake states that when it's face up on the field, neither player can search cards, or neither player can add cards from the deck to your hand except by drawing them. And obviously, when you activate Pod Duality, you don't draw the card. You actually are adding that card from your deck to your hand. So when mistakes on the field, you cannot activate Pod Duality. However, since Mistake is a continuous trap card, what if Pod Duality is activated and then Mistake is immediately chained? What happens there? Now resolving chain backwards, Mistake effect is applied and resolved, and then Pod Duality will apply and resolve as much as it can. So in this situation, the player who activated Pod Duality will still reveal the top 3 cards of the deck, because Mistake does not prevent that. Does not prevent that from going off. You pick a card, the other two get shoved in the deck. However, because Mistake prevents you from adding a card from deck to your hand, whatever card you picked is sent to the graveyard. So that's a ruling that I didn't know. You know what I mean? So basically, that one card you picked is kind of like in limbo. You know what I mean? How since it's a card you picked, it can't go back in the deck, and Mistake prevents it from being added to your hand. So where does it go? Like where does it go? It's basically just floating in air. So at that point, the judge ruling is that whatever card you pick is sent directly, immediately to the graveyard. It's just placed in the graveyard. And I gotta say, that's a ruling. The first time I saw this worked out was actually on YGO Pro, which actually got me interested in actually looking up that ruling. I believe I was playing my girl. She played Pod Duality. I don't remember what deck she was using. It's been a while now. I chained Mistake, thinking that Pod Duality would just fade out because she can't search, so like whatever. But then YGO Pro still allowed her to reveal the top 3 cards. So I'm thinking, oh, did I misread a card or something? But the card that she chose, which was a good card, the one she wanted, was just sent to graveyard. So yeah. So I was confused. So I looked it up like, oh, okay, you know what? That makes sense. obviously our renew pod duality cannot be activated once mistake is already on the field face up. But what I didn't know is how the effect will resolve if mistake was being chained to the activation of pod duality. Yeah, so that's some pretty good news. Like that's really good. Now there is one other ruling that I didn't see on the phone, only because back in the day I saw people doing this all the time. Like people will spur summon whatever cards and then play pod duality. No. You must not spur summon the whole turn. The same turn you activate pod duality. So obviously people know that you can't spur summon after you activate pod duality. But since pod duality requires you to not even spur summon or even attempt to spur summon, which so let's say you go for a monster in the extra deck, whatever card it is, and it gets negated by Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, or whatever, like it gets negated. You cannot activate pod duality because you did actually you actually did attempt to spur summon. So game state reads that, therefore pod duality cannot be activated because it recognizes that you tried to spur summon a monster, and pod duality just says no to that. Like that's a big no. Don't play with me, man. Don't play with me. But yeah, so like I said, so you cannot even try to spur summon a monster doing the same turn you want to activate pod duality. So that's a very good ruling that you should know, and players all around should know. Again, rulings, it's a difficult thing. I really want to try to make this game a lot smoother for everybody, and let's just all have a good time, and let's try to minimize the debates and these confusions, you know. So I'm doing my best. I got plenty more rulings that I want to talk over. I can't talk. That I want to talk over with you guys, because yeah, there is plenty. There is quite a bit of cards. Also, my last video, I did talk about the rulings regarding Starlight Road, and I encourage you to check it out. Obviously, I will link it in the box below. So if you like this video, go check that one out, and tell me more about these rulings that you want to know, because like I said, there's plenty of things that's confusing even for players that's been playing this game for like 10 years. It's a lot of information, man. It is a lot of information to take in. But with that said, I'm rambling on. It's time to end the video, and see you guys next time. Alright guys, have a good one. I'm RedNova. Have a good day. Peace.